It's 1978 in a trans-Pacific flight, and one man's frustration will change the way that we listen to music forever. Masaru, Sony's co-founder, sat in his airplane seat struggling with a bulky TC-D5 recorder, and then he said the infamous 13 words, "I wish it was easier to listen to recorded music on an airplane." And little did he know, this simple wish will not only change the way that we consume music, but it will also eventually lead to Sony's greatest paradox. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to the video. The development team at Sony, led by Kozo, worked tirelessly to make this dream come true. They stripped away recording functions, they reduced the size, and they created something unprecedented. A portable cassette player with high-quality sound that could fit in a pocket. The Walkman was born. And I know you must have seen somebody in your family with a Walkman, whether it was your brother or whether it was your parents or even maybe your grandparents, but somebody must have had a Walkman in your life or in your family. And Sony made sure that we all knew about the Walkman. So Sony's initial marketing campaign was so brilliant. They understood their target audience. They're young, they're active, and they wanted a soundtrack to their lives. They wanted to listen to music when they were doing whatever it is that they wanted to do. So the very name Walkman embodied that vision, and it was also something that their target audience will relate with. Music that walked with you. So rather than traditional advertising, Sony developed street teams. So they had young people wearing the Walkmans in trendy areas in Tokyo, and the message was clear. This wasn't just a product, it was a lifestyle. And by the mid-1980s, Walkman was in every household. It was like you saying tissues. It was in every household, and it would transform how people experienced music, and it would transform everything. But then something happened, and we will call that the digital disruption. So in 2001, Apple introduced the iPod, and everything changed. It was sleek, but it was the messaging. It said 1,000 songs in your pocket. So what that meant was no more carrying around multiple cassettes or CDs, which you had to do with the Walkman. And this one is 100,000 songs in your pocket, and it was sleek. You didn't need to change anything. And it was small. You didn't need to have cassette players. And obviously it was a threat to Sony, which funnily enough, they didn't even consider it as a threat. Because after all, they were successfully navigating, they were transitioning at that time from cassettes to CDs with their Discman line. But it was different. The iPod wasn't just about another, hardware. It was about, seamless integration. There was iTunes. There was a way you could purchase and organize and carry digital music. So Sony had to adapt, or they will struggle. And it looked like they struggled a bit. Here's where the story takes an ironic turn. As the Walkman sales declined and iPod dominated the market, Sony had to find themselves in this unusual position. So the company, Sony itself, was manufacturing some of the things in the iPod, including the batteries, the display screens, and the storage components. So Sony manufactured 80% of the key components in each iPod. So the business decision was either you have to surrender or you have to survive. So here's what I mean. Either they had to surrender and fade away and then manufacture what their, competitor is using, or they can survive by trying to do the same thing. But it looks like they surrendered, because as much as Apple was taking over and as much as they themselves could manufacture the same thing, they didn't do it. And I'm like, was this a marketing decision? Of course it was a marketing decision, because rather than losing all money, so let's say they wanted to compete. So rather than putting everything that they had to compete, why don't we step away and then manufacture, 80% of the iPod, whilst we will still make some money? Now, I know that was a marketing tactic, but I feel like that was the marketing tactic that collapsed them, because they could have competed. Like, so the Walkman was something. I'm sure there are some people who have nostalgia with the Walkman, and I'm sure there were some people who were loyal to Sony. If only they could just adapt. Imagine having, the iPod. They wouldn't call it the iPod, but having the Walkman in similar way that the iPod was. Don't you think that would have helped as well? But it looked like they wanted to go the other way around when it came to marketing. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let's talk about it. Once again, thank you for watching, and thank you all to the commenters and the subscribers.